Welcome to the Pixelberry Choices podcast, and today we're talking about Laws of Attraction, Book 2, Chapter 2, and let me say something. So this chapter, we have a lot to talk about this, but, Laws of Attraction, Book 2, Chapter 2, in my opinion, it is actually the base plot, like what the book is about. Like I don't remember except from the beginning of the book one, we ever got a court scene. Not the moot court, which is basically like a I don't know, like a mock test before a real test, you know. So that was all about. So first 9 chapters of that book was competition. They're fighting against Martin and others, basically like intern fighting and stuff like that. So office competition, we had that in a lot of books, and then there was a murder mystery, but we basically acted like a private investigator, and then we solved it outside the court. I guess like the court case wasn't really in there, like actually how it goes in on the court. I don't believe that was there in book one. Like if you remember Veil of Secrets, the court scene's there. That was the court scene. So in this chapter, we finally have this court scene, which was really amazing, and I enjoyed it. So let's see. So like Gabe said last chapter, that we have a chance to even double down on Martin. So first of all, Martin tried to put his hold on us, but that was denied by everyone. The basically thanks to Reggie and the other woman, Linda. But now Gabe gave us a case and we need to solve it. So we go to the office, we meet our client, and we hear that their kid, Jaime, I think that's how it's pronounced, and he was not there because they were surprised that babysitting was also included in that, as they jokingly said. So Ryan, remember the nice guy, he's basically taking care of the baby while his parents, Gabe and our main character, talk business. So basically, more of the story is that they moved to a place where they have. So this is basically a state where they can afford a good school district state place where they can afford public school, which is a reputable and affordable for them. So basically for their child, and they have another baby on the way. So we also hear how James is practicing with dolls how to hold the baby, how to take care of them. They're very excited, but the problem is that the little kid James can't join school because when they contacted the school said that he's already been admitted there and expelled, but he hasn't been admitted yet. So that's a pretty big scheme, identity fraud for sure. So we asked them and learned a lot of detail that they saw that name, address, everything was matched. So we asked them that how long they've been living there. They said that they bought the place for 5 years, but they were keeping tenants there and they were staying somewhere else to save up money. But so, and they don't have any relative who could have done this, and the tenants of the tenants who lived there, they're they had a college student. So their son or daughter, I don't remember, so they were in college, so they wouldn't do this identity fraud. So we need to dig a little bit more. So they leave. We have this case. We talk with Ashlyn. Ashlyn says that she's still doing some digging, and it's really bothering her. So we can take her on her this amazing opportunity that she gives us, that we can take Aslan's help in a diamond scene where we will get a lot of information about this case. So we go to the library, I go, and there we start researching on computer. So Aslan first types the school name. We see who got expelled from the school, and it's Jaime. We see everything is matching, and then we also learn that why he was expelled, because he put a fire in a petting zoo. So then we call the one of the teachers, and we learn about, like, we can pretend to be that we're a lawyer trying to admit our son, and we want to know that who to keep away from. So basically, from there you get the detail that this kid Jaime, who's expelled now, he was a threat. He didn't get along with people a lot, and he put a fire in a petting zoo once when the school visited a nearby zoo. So we get information about the zoo, and we need to play along with the zoo owner, like like a lot of farm puns. The punny guy. So we will play along and we get some information from him and a lot of proof that that kid put a fire there. So they had to do some mutual agreement with the parents. So that thing we will get also. And who this person is, then we'll learn about the parents, and we will send all the details of the parents to James' parent. And then, as a matter of fact, we learn that the one who this Jaime, who is not a Jaime but pretended to be Jaime, who actually committed the identity fraud, her mom is actually pretty rich, and she had the means to admit her son to private schools. And we also saw that her son was expelled from a lot of private schools for the same behavioral problems. And she also is the head of a lot of museums and other stuff. So we have pretty much our case. So in the court, we have to prove that this was a deliberate attempt of identity fraud, not some innocent mistake by the school. So then we go to the court case. We have our plaintiffs, our side, and the defendant and defendant's lawyer. So this is the actual court case that I was talking about. And I wanted this so badly in book one after the tree law thing. So we will start with our opening monologues, and then we will see the defendant pushing hard that this was an innocent mistake. But if you choose the diamond scene and if you play your cards right, with that sort of like there will be a sign indicating that which one is the valid choice out of all two or three options, that will basically bury your defendant even deeper into her lies. So we'll basically establish that this, like, we will learn that our client, they visited the tenant's house once. There they met her, the defendant, the actual criminal here, and they learned a lot of details about his son and everything. So that next they committed the identity fraud, and we also established that this identity fraud was because when her son was getting expelled from everywhere, from all the elite private schools, this was the last mean to her where she could put his child by committing an identity fraud like this in a public school. But that didn't last long either. Like, her son again got expelled from there, and we just put the final nail in the coffin with her tax reports and everything, that she had the means and everything. So after that, the defendant couldn't make a comeback. And the jury, and we will also have to dress to impress there was no jury, so this was only judge court. So the judge will definitely rule the case in favor of us, and we will be winning this. And we'll also be able to determine that what should be done with the parent and the child who has a behavioral problem. So I personally suggested to have a community service of 500 hours and 50 hours. So the parent says that she doesn't have much time with how busy she is, and the judge says, so find the time. That was hilarious. And this time the defendant, like, she is always the bad person. Like, she's Lexi, she's perfect maths, Silas, I forgot her name, like what her name was, whatever. But yeah, that was pretty much it. Then we celebrate the victory with Gabe. But Gabe is too busy, so we will go to the bar. We enjoy our night there. Ashlyn is not there; she's also busy with Bo and Gigi. We just enjoy there. And then a handsome stranger comes in, and it is Joe Quinn. You have seen him before, and we just see how charismatic, Joe Quinn is, and like, we were impressed by Joe Quinn's charisma, and his charisma was something different, and he was really charismatic. That's just no doubt. So, and the best thing, I think, the punchline was that he would offer our main character drink, and we'll say that we don't take drink from a stranger. Then he will introduce himself to us subtly and say that we're no longer strangers. So that was a pretty smooth move. Gotta give it to him, irrespective of what's gonna happen to him later. And then, we'll have a hookup scene in a boat, and that would be pretty, like he will say first that this is my boat, and after he hook up, he will say that this is not my boat. So that would be some adventure. We'll get to know him. And then the next day, we go to our office, we see that Martin has a new hire, and we see when we come to the front desk, it's Joe Queen, the man we hooked up with in the last chapter. And Martin says it's Martin's new hire. We'll have to work with him, and I don't know how Joe Quinn is going to turn out. It's Martin's hire, so is it gonna be a snake like Martin? Is it gonna be a backstabber like Martin, or is it gonna be like Poppy? Friends to enemies to lover, or rival to lover, something like that is gonna happen. I don't know. Is Joe Quinn just a fling, or is he a love interest? We don't know. I think in the next chapter description it says that it's time you match fire with your own new hire. So who is it gonna be? Kelvin Monroe, he's not gonna be a hire because he's gonna come to our farm with his own case. So I believe that he's gonna be a client, not a new hire. So let your predictions out. What do you think is gonna happen in the future chapters? And who do you think our new hire is going to be? Do you think it is going to be a new female character? Because a lot of people are really upset and pissed off at choices, basically saying that they have lots of male characters. Aslin barely got any time in the last chapter. On paper, it looks in the first chapter that they have the same time, but it was Gabe centric. Book one was definitely Gabe favored, except for the diamond sin. So people are pissed off as it is, but if you look at it, it's just opposite of Queen Bee. Like in Queen Bee, we literally had any male character. Like forget about male character. Like if you don't have a male Ian, there is rarely any male character. If you don't have your professor a male, it was all female almost. And like everything all about that. And laws of attraction, it's just the mirror image of that. So I don't know what to say about that, but it's pretty interesting. Chapter 2 was quite amazing. Joe Queen, I can't wait to see like what happens to him. Is he gonna be a villain? Is he gonna be what is gonna be gonna happen with him? Like what's the deal with him? I don't know. Kelvin Monroe, how he fits into the picture, and who is gonna be our new hire? Who is he gonna be? I think if you tell me personally, I don't think it's gonna be any new character. Remember how talented Ryan is? We're talking about in book one. So I think the writers will be doing a justice to Ryan and all the conversations we had at first in chapter 3 or 4 in book one. I thought we will see Ryan more, but we don't see Ryan after that. We learned that how talented Ryan was, and I like that guy Ryan. I like Ryan. So I hope Ryan is gonna be our new hire, and he has got everything it takes to be a lawyer. He thinks like one. At least he better than Martin and most of them out there. So I guess like from what we had the conversation, I don't know if writers are gonna give them that or not, but that was a significant diamond scene conversation with Ryan in the last book. But after that, throughout the book, we don't even see Ryan that significantly. He said like he will consider going to a law school later. So if it is Ryan, it will make sense. But it could be a new character. I don't know, but I hope it's Ryan. Let me know your comments and your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, peace out and let's interact below.